Executive Director at Amnesty International Zimbabwe. Our traditional leaders, Chief Magwegwe, Chief Serima, and Chief Dakamela, the Minister of Health representatives, I'm sure they are still on their way, Dr. Lucia, representatives from the Minister of Women Affairs, Gender and Small to Medium Enterprises, members of the National Assembly and Senate, here in present, former MP and former chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Health, who is now a commissioner with Lancet Global Health, Dr. Ruth Labode, representatives of the various constitutional commissions, representatives of the medical fraternity, and representatives of civil society organizations, ladies and gentlemen who are all here. Very warm welcome to you all to this stakeholder dialogue on ending early forced marriages and promoting universal access to sexual and reproductive health and rights in Zimbabwe, which is being hosted by Amnesty International Zimbabwe and Women's Coalition of Zimbabwe. We meet at a time when we are being constantly hit with headlines and stories of adolescent pregnancies. The statistics that have been shared through the media in various reports are staggering, demanding attention and action from all sectors represented here. Between January and June 2023, 680 minors aged between 10 and 14 were reported pregnant. During the same period, reports indicate that 51,376 pregnancies relating to adolescents aged between 15 and 19 were recorded. 4,557 girls dropped out of school in 2023 due to pregnancy, with the majority of them being from rural schools. The National Assessment on Adolescent Pregnancies in Zimbabwe report, June 2023, highlighted that the national prevalence rate of teenage pregnancy had increased to 22% from 9% in 2016. Yet the story remains incomplete. When we take a moment to consider all the hidden figures that have not been captured by the statistics and therefore remain unidentified by the system. Intersectionality as a framework will remind us that even within marginalized groups, there exist subsets of oppressed people who are not always reflected by the numbers reported. And in this case, the statistics that I've shared, you may note that they may exclude girls who did not register for antenatal care, because those that are reported are those who went and registered for antenatal care. But there are girls out there in the communities we come from who did not register for antenatal care due to various reasons, who are not included in the statistics, which means we have more girls between the ages of 10 and 14 that fell pregnant during that period, but these figures are not covered in the statistics that I've shared. I shared statistics on school dropouts, but there are girls who have never been to school who are not counted in the statistics, but who fell pregnant during the same period. These numbers or statistics do not only tell a worrisome story of the plight of our girls, but it also presents a gloomy picture on the feasibility of attaining SDG 5 on gender equality. As Amnesty International Zimbabwe, we are alarmed with the trends that we have observed relating to adolescent pregnancies, as it appears that the problem is getting worse since the time we published our report in 2018 titled Lost Without Knowledge, Barriers to Sexual and Reproductive Information in Zimbabwe. This report, which outlines barriers which adolescents face in accessing sexual and reproductive health rights prompted us to conduct another research titled, "I Never Thought I Could Get Healed from This: Barriers to Treatment and Human Rights Abuses Against Girls and Women with Obstetric Fistula in Zimbabwe." These two reports have informed the campaign which we are carrying out on ending forced marriages, promoting universal access to sexual and reproductive health and rights, and eradicating obstetric fistula, which is a maternal morbidity which women and girls develop while giving birth. This campaign highlights the intersectionality of lack of access to sexual reproductive health rights and services, teenage pregnancies, forced marriage, and the risk of developing maternal morbidities such as obstetric fistula. While working on this campaign, we have taken note of the work that various organizations, institutions, and individuals are doing in advocating for access to sexual reproductive health services. This work ranges from efforts to bring about legal and policy change, ending harmful and discriminatory norms, and providing services to adolescents. I want to single out the work done by the Advocacy Core Team, which is a coalition of organizations working on health-related issues. I think we followed the great work that they did between 2019 and 2021 when they petitioned Parliament. There is a lot really that has been happening as far as this is concerned. And as an organization, we took note of that work, as well as the work that's being done by various organizations, institutions, and individuals who are present here. As Amnesty International, we believe that there are times when we lead, but there are also times when we support, and at other times we just follow. We acknowledge the outstanding work being done by organizations and entities whose mission and core work is promoting universal access to reproductive health rights for women and girls. So as we carry out our campaign, we do not come as leaders, but we do so as supporters and followers to those who are leading on this issue. So we may be hosting this Indaba, but we want to be very clear that we are not in any way a leader or an expert in this area, but we recognize the role and value of collaborations in bringing about the change that we desire and the change that we need. Our collective purpose in this room is to address a pressing crisis that is tearing apart the fabric of our society: the alarming rates of unplanned adolescent pregnancies, maternal morbidities and mortality, forced marriages, and HIV infections amongst adolescents. It's our collective responsibility to ensure that adolescent girls and young women have access to comprehensive sexual education, healthcare services, and protection from violence and discrimination. It is our hope and expectation that this dialogue, which is building on work that you have done and that you are doing on this issue, will strengthen our collaborations and give traction to our advocacy efforts, which currently may not be as coordinated as it should be, thus militating against progress. The collaborative journey towards creating a bright future for girls and young women in Zimbabwe is what is needed. At Amnesty International, we always refer to the old Chinese proverb, which says it's better to light a candle than to cast darkness. And as you can see, we always light our candle, from the logo there. It is better to light a candle than to cast darkness. When each of us lights a candle in our own corner, through taking action, we will dispel the darkness that threatens women and girls of a bright future. I wish you all a productive and successful day as we deliberate on this issue that affects all of us in different ways. Thank you.